Okay, lately we've been doing problems where we are given a polynomial equation and we have to find the roots. Sometimes that's kind of difficult, complicated. Now we're going to be given the roots, or zeros. Zeros and roots are the same thing. We're given the zeros, and we want to find a polynomial equation that has those zeros. And there's lots of polynomial equations that have the same zeros. They may be shaped a little bit differently as far as their vertical positions, but they all have the same zeros. So we just want to find just one that will satisfy that. The simplest one, sometimes we call this. So the easiest way to do this is we have our four zeros, and we know we can write this in factored form. It's real easy. It's just x minus each zero. So x minus negative x is x, or sorry, x minus negative 3 is x plus 3. X minus 0, x minus 2, and x minus 4. So this is our polynomial in factored form. So the first thing you want to do is write it in factored form. Then we just have to multiply it out. It might be easier to say this x minus 0 is just x, so it might be easier just to put that in front and rewrite it like this. There you go. And these are always going to be equal to 0. This is an equation. And if you put any of these values in, 0, negative 3, 2, or 4, we'll have a factor of 0, which will make the whole thing 0. Okay? So usually I just do the last two because they're next to each other, and it's a little bit easier to organize this when I multiply. So we've got a lot of multiplications to do. Nothing too difficult, but just a lot of little things, so you got to be careful. Okay, so we're going to use the good old FOIL process. First outside, inside, last. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And a negative times a negative is positive. And 2 times 4 is 8. And then I'll simplify this. Now, some of these steps you might be able to kind of skip if you're comfortable with these multiplications, but I'll write everything out just in case. So you got x squared, and negative 4 and negative 2 is negative 6x plus 8. And now I've got a 2 by 3, and I know that I'm going to have some like terms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this vertically rather than linearly. Now you could do whatever process you like, but I'm a little more comfortable like this because it saves me a little bit of effort looking left and right. I just look up and down. So you'll see what's going to happen in just a second. First of all, we're going to multiply every term here by x. So we just add one to each exponent, so that's going to be x cubed minus 6x squared plus 8x. Okay, double check there. And then I'll multiply every term in this trinomial by 3, which isn't too bad. So that's going to be 3x squared. And you see we have like terms, so the x squareds go in a vertical line. Okay? And then 3 times 6 is negative 18x, so this goes here, negative 18x. See how they line up really nicely? And then 3 times 8 is positive 24. They may not always line up exactly this nicely, but usually there are a lot of like terms in these multiplications, so if you do them vertically, it's a little bit easier to kind of keep track of things. Sometimes if you're going left to right, sometimes you might miss something. Okay, so it's going to be times, and then x, well, I only have one x cubed, but negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3x squared, and then negative 10x plus 24. And then I have to simplify it. No, it's already simplified. So what I'll do is I'll just multiply everything by x. Always simplify whenever you can. But we did our simplification by lining up our like terms. So now we got x to the fourth. So just add one to each exponent. X to the fourth minus 3x cubed minus 10x squared plus 24x. And again, these are all, I should set these all equal to 0. And there's your polynomial equation that has these roots. Okay, and pretty much there's all your work. So if that makes sense, it's not too difficult, just is a little time consuming, so Just be careful that you don't make any silly little errors.